Hi guys, so this is part 2 of Lovebubber 450 questions series. So in the first part we had done the first 5 questions. I hope you have seen that. If you haven't and if you want to, I have made a playlist now which has only one video as of now. You can, I'll share the link of the playlist in the description. You can see that video. So in that video we have done 5 questions. We have to start with find the union and intersection of two sorted arrays. So we have to do this problem. So let us start today's video with this problem. So this is a practice problem in GFG, which surprisingly I had already finished. So this is a very simple question. You just have to find out total number of distinct elements from both the arrays. So I have used set over here. I have used STL set. It's a container which will store only distinct elements. Uh, just we have to print the size of the set because size of the set will denote how many distinct elements are there. Just put all the array elements, that is both array A and B, all the elements in the set and just print the size of the set. So I had already done this question. You can take a look at the code if you want. Okay. So this problem is very simple. Anybody can do it. You have to just know how to use set. So set will make your life a little more simpler. So this was this. Okay. Next, write a program to cyclically rotate an array by 1. So let us see if I have done this already. So as you can see, I have already done this also, but I will explain you how to do it. Actually, there is nothing much to explain because we have to rotate only by 1. That is, we have to cyclically rotate by 1 and we have to rotate it by 1 to the right side. That is, as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is changed to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 has gone to the first place. All elements have shifted by right side. So how do you shift all elements to the right side? So for that, first keep a temporary variable called last, store the last array element value in it. Then what you do this for I equal to n minus 2 till I equal to 0. You say a of I plus 1 is equal to a of I. That means you are copying the previous value to the next value. That is, in place of 5, I want 4. So copy 4 here. In place of 4, I want 3. So copy 3. Place of 2, if place of 3, I want 2. So copy 2. Like that, you keep copying. And don't forget a of 0 is a of last because a of last should come to the first place, right? So this step is also important. Actually, there is an inbuilt function and many things can be done with STL. There is an inbuilt function called rotate also. So the syntax for that inbuilt function rotate is something like, std rotate v dot begin v dot begin plus v dot size minus k v dot end. So k represents how many times you have to rotate to the right side. So you can use this inbuilt function also. You don't have to write all these lines of code. This function will do that. This is for right shift. Okay, this function. So this function is for right shift. For left shift, what you have to do is v dot begin plus k. So this is for left shift. The other one was for right shift. So you can use the inbuilt function also. This is a very simple problem. Let us move to the next one. Next one is find largest sum contiguous subarray. So looking at this only, you will figure out it is Cadence algorithm. Cadence algorithm is most basic algorithm. So how I write Cadence algorithm is like this. In Cadence algorithm, there are two things, current sum, maximum sum. But in some of the codes, it will not be sufficient for negative numbers. It will not take into account of negative numbers. But if you write this code, it will take into account of negative numbers also. So you just need two variables, current sum CS, maximum sum MS. And you have to just write these two lines. Current sum will be maximum of current element or current element plus current sum. And maximum sum will be maximum of maximum sum or current sum. And finally print the maximum sum. So this is just two lines of code for cadence algorithm here in this loop. Initially current sum and maximum sum are equal to the first element of the array. So this will take into account of negative numbers. We can run and see it also. So this is how you can take reference of this code whenever they ask cadence algorithm. So as you can see, it's correct. So now we have done the three questions. They were pretty straightforward and easy only. Okay, and let us go to this. Minimize the maximum difference between heights. So given an array, okay, given an array of integers, modify the heights of each tower to either by increasing or decreasing them by k. Okay, what is it that we have to find? We have to find out the maximum difference between height of shortest and longest. So we have to rearrange such that we get minimum difference. Okay, so let us remove all this. Let us write our code in Sublime Text. Okay, so Sublime Text, if you are facing some problem, mostly it will be with compiling only. Some linker error problem you'll be facing. What you have to do is, you have to go to tools, okay, and go to tools and then go to build system, then go to new build system. See, basically for interactive input and output, you need, sometimes you'll require a different build system. And through that, you can take input output. So you need to build a new build system. Then you just copy these lines of code. If you're using Windows, if you're using Mac, then it will be something different. You can check that out in, like, you can just Google that actually, it'll be available. And just paste it here and don't forget to press save. Control S you press, then it will work. And save all these things in the same directory, these three: output, input, and the project. So let us get back to the question. So let us take the input first. So int n, c in n, int k, c in k. Then we need the array. So after taking the array input, let us say, let us take two variables. So actually first let us sort the array, because when we read the problem, we will realize that they're asking minimum, maximum, something like that. So it's better to sort the array, because when we sort it, we'll get to know minimum, maximum, and we can do the operations accordingly. So we'll sort it first. Let us take a variable called small. Small will be equal to a of 0 plus k. And a variable big will be a of n minus 1 minus k. Okay, so then let us run a loop from I equal to 1 to n minus 1. Then let us say int sub is equal to a of I minus k, int add is equal to a of I plus k. These two variables are for whether I have to add k or subtract k for the given value, or I should not do anything. So if sub is greater than or equal to small, or add is less than or equal to big, then we will do nothing else if big is less than or equal to sub. Sorry, if big minus sub is less than or equal to add minus small, then we will say small is equal to sub. Otherwise, we will do big is equal to add. Finally, we have to print minimum of big minus small or a of n minus 1 minus a of 0. Why is this condition? Because why should we write this? Because if we are not doing any operation only, then we have to print a of n minus 1 minus a of 0, because then ultimately difference will be maximum minus minimum if there is no operation. So this is the code. I believe it is correct. So some compiler error. Yeah, so I'm getting the answer as 5. How I'm getting it 5? I will increase 1 to 3. Okay, I'll increase 1 to 3. I'll increase 5. No, I'll make 5 to 3. I will make 8 to 6. And I'll make 10 to 8. So 8 minus 3 will be 5. So if I have to submit this, and over here, one more thing, if small is greater than big, let us just swap small with big. We are assuming small is smaller than beginning. Not beginning, sorry, big. What am I saying? So if I copy this, and so I have to return now, I don't have to print anything. And let me declare a variable I. If I compile this, I think it should be correct. Let us submit and check. Yes, so it is correct. So if you want to look at the code once again, so this is the code. I hope all of you are trying it by yourself in your system, like you also run it in your editor and check and take different inputs and try to verify whether this is correct or wrong. So detailed explanation I cannot give because the video will become too long, and it is already available on many websites, so you can check it out from there. So if you wanted a better solution than whatever you knew and this is better than that, then you can take this as reference. If you already know these things, please share the video with your friends if you don't want to watch it. But if you are watching it, I suggest you to watch it for longer, because then only you'll understand. Like if you just see for once and go, you will not get it. So let us go to the next question. Minimum number of jumps to reach end of array. So what should we do in this? In this question, given an array of integers, each representing maximum number of steps that can be taken forward from that element. The task is to find minimum number of jumps to reach the end of the array. So we start from the beginning, that is first element. Then we try to jump to the last element. And if an element is 0, we cannot move. Maximum number of steps we can take. That means if suppose a of I is 5, we can take 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step. We can take anything. Looking at this problem, you will feel it's like recursion or dynamic programming. But actually, when I was trying, I was doing an O of n solution. So I will be showing that O of n solution with you. So what is the array input? So there are multiple test cases. So in T, so I'm taking the input now, the arrays input. Okay, so now I'll take a variable called max. It will be a of 0. Let us take a variable called step, and let us take a variable called jump, which is 1 initially. Okay, then what I will be doing is I will run a loop from I equal to 1 to n, and if I becomes n minus 1, I will I have to print jump. Otherwise what I will do, so after I print jump, I will break out. After I print jump, I will break out. Otherwise, my max will be updated. A of I plus I. Okay, then what I'll have to do, then I will decrease step count, and I will check if step became 0. If step became 0, then I will do jump plus plus. And if I is greater than or equal to max, then I will see out -1, because then there is no answer, and I will break. Otherwise, I will make step equal to max minus I. So if I not equal to n, then I will print -1. I think this should give the answer. Let me see. So some linker error came. So I should give end of line. So I should give end of line either way. If you get a linker error, you have to build a new system and save it in Sublime Text. So we are getting the correct output 3 and 2, which is what is here. So let us submit this code and see. Actually, one second. We will just take the whole thing. Let's copy the whole thing. Okay. And we don't need this part, this online judge part. It's only for Sublime Text. So let's see if we get correct answer or not. So we got wrong answer over here. Why did we get wrong answer? So I rectified the code. So basically I was doing some simple addition mistake only. So that was the code. You can have a look at it here. Same thing, there is no much difference. Okay. So we submitted here and now we are done with this problem also. So in the next video, we will start solving from find duplicate in an array of n+1 integers. So please share this video with your friends, subscribe to my channel. And if you're finding it helpful, then like it and tell me what can I improve, what should I do. If you have some better solutions, you can tell in the comments also. So that was the question. And I'll see you in the next video then. Bye.